Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Founders Grid, sponsored by Gaper.io. Today, we have James Poskowitz. James is the founder of Zero and co-founder of Builder Karma. And prior to that, he used to be a partner at S2S Consulting. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me today.
So, give us a brief background about yourself, what you've been doing before Zero.
That's always an interesting story, but for myself, I spent many years consulting everything from startups to Fortune 50 companies in operations and change management, really fine-tuning their operations and their culture internally and externally. And in 2008, I started dabbling into startup world and technology and really getting to understand it. And together with my brother David, we started building startups together, and I also started advising startups. And 5 years ago, I started focusing on the San Francisco market and looking for really great opportunities to build companies in a new and innovative way and bring my experience to the Valley and look to do something extraordinary. And this all led to founding Zero.
Yeah, interesting. So what was the initial motivation behind the concept of Zero and everything, the drive, the thought process initially?
So, of course, as we constantly are seeing these really great technologies in themselves, whether it's micro solar systems, whether it's artificial intelligence and machine learning, constantly adapting and growing, whether it's the neural engine processors getting smaller and better, and then robotics. So many of the components that would go into creating a solution to be able to efficiently and robotically, cost effectively manage waste on a micro level, meaning on location in the trash can. That was something that was definitely coming to a place where there was the ability to be able to achieve with the place that many different companies have brought their engineering and development to by combining and licensing or purchasing different technologies. And and I was really inspired by it personally as we walk around the streets of San Francisco or really any city. Many cities have trash in the streets and many problems with waste management. Our cities it's costing them more and more to try to find places to put waste. And then, our oceans, we look everywhere we go. It's a table conversation as to we're running out of places and it's just corrupting our world, and how many more generations can survive like this? And eventually the impact on the economy is going to reach an unsustainable place. So whether you're all about the environment or all about profitable business, it's a problem. And so I spent a year traveling 19 countries and meeting with business and world leaders and doing focus groups to develop this solution.
Interesting. And how has the journey been so far?
It's been a very exciting process to have so many incredibly intelligent, really thought leaders in the world, as well as just outright legends in their space, donate their time to our company and creating this technology from the ground up and reverse engineering it to keep the user experience of all stakeholders, whether it's waste management companies or business intelligence, businesses to use that data and that platforms, and or just the end user putting your piece of trash in the trash can.
Interesting.
And it's very exciting to really focus on delivering a future that can really transform people's relationship with waste.
Yeah. So unfortunate times because of COVID, right? And it has impacted many companies and has also been a catalyst for others. Mm-hmm. So how has it impacted you, for good or for worse, the COVID?
I think that I would like to say that it is something that I don't like to say good or for worse. I think it's made it more urgent for solutions to be paid attention to. Um, our solution delivers up to 55% savings to municipality and waste management organizations after they pay for our system. So budgets being cut, but also our system also removes a lot of the risk, up to 99.8% is our target currently, of handling that waste after it's been processed, of infection or transferring on any of that bacteria or virus for the environments it's in. So safety for janitorial staff and anybody handling that waste, as well as the environment the garbage can is in, has definitely really pressed the need with anybody looking to evolve their ecosystem.
Hmm. So, James, you've been into startup world for quite some time now, and you advised a few of them as well. So, during these COVID times, what top three advices would you give to other young entrepreneurs who are just looking to start out or who just started out, and how to go about it?
I think when we talk about lean startup methodology, it's something that is can be misunderstood. It can also be VCs and many people around us will give us all different types of advice. I think it is very, very important to do your research, to have a very focused vision and mission. So I work off several principles. I have a triangle with the vision and mission at the top. In the left hand, we have our 4 stages of growth. So what is the next 24 months? I like to divide that up into 6-month stages for startups. And in the right hand, I have DFP, which is desire, flow, and profitability. So desire is on every touch point in our product, internally and externally. What is that childlike desire to use that? Flow would be, what are we simplifying it? How much faster does that natural stream if we would take that to a river, flow faster downhill? How many actions or obstacles are we removing? And can we do the first 2 profitably? What's that barrier to entry? Is it impacting us? And once we answer really all these and we have balanced that with our integrity and our credibility and our values within our team, that enables us to work remotely very effectively, but also do many aspects of startup development and engineering and transformations, all the transformations we go through as a startup, in tandem. And it allows for many multi-stream development flow. And this is what I highly recommend. It saves millions, and it also really impacts on the culture changes down the road. And I can get into culture and how to build that. But that's another subject.
That's interesting. Last question, James. Remote work. Many traditional companies have been going to work remotely, and it is something the world is not used to, right? So, any 3 tips and advices of how you're managing your remote teams in a better way, be it the technology, be it the marketing, sales, the investor relation. So, how to go about that?
That's a really great question. So when I first start with those first principles that I just spoke about prior, and then we document everything very thoroughly as to the steps that we are going to take. So alignment in teams, and having a platform which they can disagree, align, and commit, and constantly move forward with that focus around the trajectory and everybody working towards the same silos that are working in tandem is very important, because you're not able to see each other in person. So to have that documentation done in a very clear, simple, and concise way is very important for teams being able to stay together, as well as having the right tools, technology tools, such as we use Slack. Our company has built out solidly on just the Salesforce centric platform, centering on Quip. And we also do use Slack in the background. And so really Salesforce has it, but we're very privileged to be partnered with them on this. And we also use a Ranger, which is just similar to Calendly, but it allows our team to really book kind of team meetings very effectively and see each other's schedules at a very low cost compared to some of its competitors. So we have these systems which we've put in place utilizing technology, but also process and documentation would be really key, as well as finding the right contractors and partners to be able to bring into that. And again, that documentation ties very strongly into having a good relationship with your partners, because when you document it clearly for your own staff, your partners can also get on board very quickly, which saves a lot of money. And last of all, when you're in front of investors, being conscious of your burn rate and your spend is very, very important in today's environment. So we can do this very effectively and attach a very strong ROI to results very quickly because we don't have a lot of these extraneous costs. So every decision has a very direct impact and metric for investors.
Got it. Got it. James, thank you so much for taking the time out. We would have loved to continue. It was an interesting talk, but my marketing team tells me I have to keep it within 8 to 10 minutes. And I think
No problem.
thank you so much. Take care of yourself and stay safe.
You as well.